Wednesday, Acting Governor Earl Ray Tomblin, joined by leaders of the state Senate, called on the House of Delegates to pass a 1-cent decrease in the food tax. The state Senate amended House Bill 2971 to include the tax decrease, which would only cost $11 million in fiscal year 2012 and then $26 million each year after.
Earlier this week, I made it clear that it would not be acceptable to pass any pay raises for the public sector without providing tax relief for all West Virginians, the seniors, the veterans, and all in between, a sensible sales tax on food relief. And I'm so glad that after further discussion with the members of the Senate that they've decided to revive the cut on the sales tax on food that I proposed. Today, our state senators cast votes that I believe are fundamentally correct. And I'm so pleased that our senators view this tax cut as simply the right thing to do. By reducing the sales tax on food by 1 cent, we're giving back to our hardworking families, seniors, and all West Virginians. In these tough economic times, we have all made concessions. This tax cut puts money back into West Virginians' pockets. This tax cut is responsible, not only for lowering the tax burden on something we all need, which is food, but is also financially responsible. Our finances, as I've said before, are strong today, but we all know that tough years lie ahead for us, and it would be irresponsible for us to ignore what is on the horizon. I don't believe that anyone in this room would take on a personal, long-time financial commitment knowing that they may that they will have trouble paying for the bills tomorrow. That simply does not make sense. We must retain common sense when balancing our state's checkbook. Taking small steps to reducing this tax is the responsible path to take. I ask our House of Delegates to walk this path with us. Now is the time to commit to a 1 cent food tax reduction. We can pass this piece of legislation now. As I've said in recent days, if a pay raise proposal passes and the food tax does not pass, I will immediately call a special session of the legislature. Now, I do not want to extend our lawmakers' time in Charleston any longer than is needed. That's why I call upon the House of Delegates today to pass the food tax bill just as our state senators have done. And I believe that our citizens deserve it. I commend the state Senate for the hard work that they have done and the vote of 33-0 today that they passed the reduction in the sales tax on food for today.
On behalf of the Senate, I want to extend our thanks and gratitude to the governor. As you know, yesterday he came up and met with us, and after much discussion and deliberation, I think we've reached an accord, took another look at the sales tax. We do believe that we can do a pay raise this year when we think that can be accomplished. And as well, I think we can give tax release to our citizens, and we'll hopefully work towards that end with the House over the next few days, particularly in the conference committee on the pay raise, to make this all reality so that every citizen in this state will benefit, number one, and number two, the hardworking citizens who work as employees of the state who have not had a raise in several years will also have an opportunity to get a meaningful increase in their standard of living as well. So I think it's a win-win for all of us.
Under the balanced budget proposed by Tomblin at the beginning of the session, the budget factored in the loss of the $11 million from the food tax reduction, plus the $47 million set aside for one-time salary enhancements for teachers and public workers. But under a salary bill being worked on by the House and Senate, the state would pay $72 million a year for permanent raises for teachers and state workers. Tomblin said there are several sources of revenue to offset that shortfall.
We were fortunate enough this year for our local share came in $16 million over what was expected. So obviously we can use that additional money to help balance the budget this year. The rest of the, as long as it's a one-year pay increase or a salary adjustment, I think that we can balance the budget with no problem, especially with the additional $16 million that came from the local share.
Noticeably absent from the conference were members of the House of Delegates. House Speaker Rick Thompson has said the whole food tax needs repealed, something that Republican Delegate Gary Howe also agrees with.
We don't operate in a vacuum. If we eliminate the food tax, they're going to come in, they're going to buy other stuff. They're going to buy their cleaning supplies, they're going to buy their toilet tissue and other taxable items, and that's going to actually increase revenue. And we might actually have people come out of Maryland and Virginia and purchase in West Virginia if it's closer for them. There's no reason for them to avoid it. Now, the problem with it is if you eliminate, or not eliminate it, but if you reduce the food tax by only 1%, there's a psychological barrier there that there is still a food tax in West Virginia. So they're going to continue to cross that border to where it's nothing.
Reporting from Charleston, this is Stephen Allen Adams for West Virginia Watchdog.